terrible Simpsons predictions for 2024. From a crazy episode that literally told us who will win the elections for the President of the United States, to the episode that showed how a black hole will suck us all. Here are terrible predictions The Simpsons had made for the year 2024. Some of them are happening, and some of them are just about to happen. But every single one is just crazy. Let's dive into the video like if you don't want World War III to break out like The Simpsons had predicted. Number 1. Trump 2024. The first Simpsons prediction, and we can already see it's about to happen. In a 2015 episode titled Bart to the Future, we can see Homer Simpson flying past a sign in the background that reads Trump 2024. Keep in mind, this episode was out 2 years before Trump was initially a president. And don't even let me start about the episode called Trumptastic Voyage, when Simpsons predicted not only that Trump will become a president, but also him riding on the escalator and waving. Even that sign on the left fell to the ground. And this episode was aired about a year before Trump became president. Back to the episode, Bart to the Future. On November 15th, 2022, Donald Trump, the former president of the United States who lost his bid for a second term, took center stage and declared his candidacy for the 2024 elections. And with Democrats being more and more worried that Trump will beat Biden and win the elections, I think Simpsons not only predicted him running for elections, but also becoming a president of the United States for a second time. Number 2, AI Robots Takeover. Let's take a journey back to the 17th episode of the 23rd season when Simpsons predicted AI robots will take over. In this episode, well-known Mr. Burns, with the help of his right hand, realized that he can save a lot of money in the long run if he replaced all the human employees with robots. So that's exactly what he did. And considering the astronomical strides that have been made in robotics and the development of artificial intelligence, there are big chances that in 2024 humans will start losing their jobs to artificial intelligence robots. We can already hear stories about robots in Japan serving people in restaurants instead of human waiters. So it's safe to say that we're witnessing the beginning of the end of human labor. But wait, in the end, AI robots weren't able to work or complete any tasks like humans are able to. Robots later attacked humans, humans defended themselves by killing most of the robots, and those who survived decided to self-destruct themselves. So I guess AI robots will take over, but not for long, and when they're gone, human labor might become more valued, which means higher wages. That's a win if you ask me, but who will fight hundreds of robots? Number 3, Baby Translator. Imagine the world in which you could fully understand what your toddler is trying to say. Well, soon you won't have to imagine, because in episode 24 of the 3rd season, The Simpsons had predicted the invention of a device called My Baby Translator. This device solves the age-long mystery of what babies really want. And on top of that, it's really simple to use. The baby just talks into the device and it translates all the mumbling into the words. It may seem too good to be true, but last year, a Swiss company called Zoomdream began working on this project and even launched their first app called Baby Tea. Baby Tea literally tells you what your baby wants, and hopefully in the next few months, we'll have a device that fully translates your toddler's words. Number 4, Female Presidency. We still don't know if the United States of America is ready to put a woman on the highest seat in the country. Don't get me wrong, there are no questions about the effectiveness of a female president, as women have proven themselves exceptional in the field of politics many times. With that being said, we might witness America getting a female president because in the same episode in which Trump's 2024 elections were predicted, in the episode, the country had gone broke due to the terrible financial decisions made by the fictional President Trump, and Lisa had to bring a tax hike to straighten things out a little. So this now sets many questions, one of them being, will Kamala Harris become the first female president of the United States in 2024? We don't really know, since we're not a politics channel, so we'll save this topic for another time. Number 5, hovercars. I know you've seen many flying cars in sci-fi movies, but trust me, The Simpsons did it better. In the 15th episode of season 16, titled Future Drama, Homer and Bart travel around in style as they cruise through the streets in their hovercars. We've been talking about flying cars for decades now, But will 2024 be the year we finally get to see them in action? Well, that's a complex question. But let me tell you something. There's a company named Samsung Sky, which is based in Oregon, and they've been working on building the first flying car since the 2000. Last year, their flying car called Switchblade finally had its very own first flight. So we might be able to see this beast out in the streets by the end of the year. Would you buy this if you had $170,000 sitting around? Let us know down below. Number 6. Hologram technology. Since we're living in the time when technology is evolving like never before, here's another creepy thing the Simpsons had predicted a while ago. In one of the episodes, Bart gets delivered a hologram device by the mailman. As soon as he takes it into his hands, a telegram starts projecting Nelson, who invites Bart's band to his club. I'm more shocked that Nelson owns a club, but our question is, how did Simpsons get the idea of holograms, and could the year 2024 be the year in which holograms become as common as cell phones? You wouldn't believe how possible this is. Matter of fact, we've already got hologram technology. A company called Real Fiction is producing a hologram device better known as DreamOck HD3, which has a bunch of features. At the moment, it's mostly used for advertising, but if that company managed to make a smaller version of it and a way to communicate via these holograms, Simpsons' prediction would come true. So don't be shocked when you see someone carrying a hologram while walking in the street in the next few months. Number 7. Black hole. Alright, we've come to the most terrifying prediction Simpsons have ever made. This one literally means we're all going to die. Let's go back to 24th season of The Simpsons, episode 2 to be more precise. In this episode, called Treehouse of Horror 23, The Simpsons had predicted a staggering black hole will spawn on the Earth. But the worst of all is the fact that this black hole sucked all of Springfield. Well, except Maggie. Although the closest black hole to our planet is located some 1560 light years away, it still doesn't mean we're 100% safe, especially not when The Simpsons predict it. So for those who don't know what would happen if a black hole the size of a chicken nugget spawned in the atmosphere, we'd all simply be dead really soon. Number 8. Virtual reality food. Imagine a world in which your food is literally virtual. No, but literally, like in one of the Simpsons episodes, you can see Marge and Homer wearing some virtual reality glasses, something like an Apple Vision Pro, and sucking on a tube. Homer complained about how his virtual fudge tastes like crap, which isn't hard to believe. While this remains one of the wildest predictions made in this show, there might be a little element of reality to it. So before you discard this one, saying it's something that can never ever happen, allow me to introduce you to Aero Banquets RMX, a culinary experience like you've never had before. Aero Banquets is a company that literally makes virtual reality food headsets. And it's not even that expensive. The one dining costs about $100, and according to the people behind this strange experiment, the aim of the project is to reframe human perceptions and change the way we experience food. What do you think about this? Comment down. Number 9. Mars Takeover. The next one is actually very freakish and will have you wondering if the scripts for this series were written by aliens. Let's go back to the 6th episode of season 27 so you can see what I'm talking about. In this episode, Lisa learns that the government was looking for volunteers who were willing to sign up for a migration to Mars. Lisa, being Lisa, volunteered, and so did the rest of the family. The rest of the episode had them going on some crazy adventures, and when it was time to go back home, the car did not want to start. And the next cut of the episode showed Marge and Lisa living on Mars. So is there any chance we could expect to colonize Mars? Everybody knows about Elon Musk's plans to colonize the Red Planet. He has been going on and on about it for years, and even established his own private space exploration company for that sole purpose. And the craziest of all is that in the beginning of 2024, we already had some proof that this prediction is true. On SpaceX's third test flight, the rocket reached its desired trajectory for the first time on March 14th, 2024. So if we already successfully reached Mars with a man-made object, the only thing left to do is to send humans up there and Viola, but I honestly doubt it'll happen anytime soon. Number 10. Ivanka Trump's presidency. After this one, you'll start thinking that the team standing behind The Simpsons is obsessed with Trumps. In the episode that aired in October of 2016, the writers dropped a subtle hint, suggesting that Ivanka Trump the daughter of the former US President Donald Trump, would run for president. In this episode, Homer Simpson can be seen wearing a badge that says Ivanka 2028. But wait, that's not the first time Ivanka made an appearance on the show, at least her character did. She was also featured in a 2017 episode where she replaced Ruth Bader Ginsburg on the Supreme Court while modeling a robe and earrings from her collection. So, at this point, I'm really starting to believe that the Simpsons are obsessed with the Trump's family. Number 11. AI goes crazy. With artificial intelligence becoming more and more developed each day, how can we be sure that one day we won't face artificial intelligence as our enemy? In the 1994 episode titled Itchy and Scratchy Land, the family visited a spooky version of Disneyland, which was fully staffed by robots. As the scenes unfolded, the robots went crazy and began to unalive everyone. And if you think that this is just impossible to happen in the real world because it sounds like a conspiracy theory, you should listen to a former Google chief engineer who lost his job after revealing to the world that the company's latest artificial intelligence had become sentient, or in the other words, it literally developed feelings. And while the possibility of this could be well far off from 2024, it raises a huge concern about how far we are willing to go with artificial intelligence. Considering we're humans, we often stop doing something once it's too late, which is really concerning. Hopefully, we'll take over Mars until then, so we have somewhere to run once robots start killing us one by one. Number 12. Music-induced mind control. Have you ever heard about music-induced mind control before? If you think about it, music is pure emotion. It has a powerful influence on our emotions, mood, behavior, and literally everything else. Even science confirmed that our limbic system, which is involved in processing emotions and controlling memory, lights up when our ears perceive music. And in the 14th episode of The Simpsons' 12th season, they had literally told us that the government is trying to control you through a series of subconscious processes. In this particular episode, a music producer selects Bart, Nelson, Milhouse, and Ralph to form the next hit boy band, Party Posse. But beneath the surface, there was a sick plan at play. In their hit song called Dropped a Bomb, Party Posse subconsciously controlled the minds of the listeners, passing a subliminal message. And you literally won't believe how. There was a line which, when spelled backwards, read, "Join the Navy." As the music spread far and wide, it began to take effect on the entire population of Springfield. During a confrontation with the music director, Lisa discovered that he was indeed a Navy lieutenant, and according to him, music had long been used to recruit young men into the military. And if we go back in time to World War II, after doing some research, we'll easily find out that the United States had a goal to weaponize entertainment as a form of propaganda, citing cinema as one of the most powerful propaganda weapons at the disposal of the United States. That's literally what the CIA said. Many people have also been raising questions about the nature of today's music with catchy, repetitive lyrics and hypnotic tunes. Have we been silently controlled by the government for many years? And will we see this play out even more in 2024? I guess we'll have to wait and see, but it's a fact that this topic is a goldmine for conspiracy theorists. Number 13, economic collapse. There's no doubt that the next one is 100% true. I know, we all know because it's happening right now. Actually, it's been happening since 2020, or in other words, since the pandemic broke out. It's obvious that the pandemic affected the worldwide economy, but especially the United States. And even though we're not yet in a recession, we're slowly but steadily heading towards one that could be worse than that time a depression hit back in 2009. Obviously, The Simpsons had to predict this in the episode called Bart to the Future. But according to them, the economic collapse happened during Trump's presidency.
We've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump.
Even though all Americans during Biden's presidency feel pain when they're pumping the gas or getting groceries. In this episode, Lisa is the President of the United States, and she tells her colleagues that they've inherited quite a budget crunch from President Trump, and when she asks her secretary how bad it is, he responds,
"We're broke."
The country is broke?
well, that could be the case with the United States soon, especially considering a bunch of ongoing wars and the fact that the US must always take sides. Number 14. World War III. On November 22nd of 1987, a special episode of The Simpsons aired on the Tracy Ullman Show. Although it was very hilarious, many people suppose The Simpsons made another prediction, or should I say a hidden message in that episode. During the episode, Homer repeatedly woke up his family in the middle of the night by screaming,
"Wake up, everybody! It's World War III!"
and made them rush to the fallout shelter in the basement. He used to do this a few times in a single night until the family had enough of it, and one night woke up Homer by screaming,
Dad, it's World War III! This is going to test!
Yeah!
Homer rushed to the shelter, and the rest of the family then closed the door. Many households around the world could find themselves recreating this scene because first, we had a World War scare in 2020 before the virus came. Secondly, if you study world politics very carefully and the number of conflicts that have erupted in many places around the world, you will see that our world is not at peace, especially with the wars that broke out just recently. It's like we're already in World War III, but we're waiting for supreme global powers to join the war directly instead of financing and helping the sides they choose. With everything we've seen so far, 2024 could be the year when everything reaches its peak and all the nations bring out their big guns to wipe everybody out. But we hope that won't happen. Number 15. Zombie apocalypse. Alright, so far this list has been terrible, but I hope this next Simpsons prediction never happens because it would just be too terrible. In one of the Simpsons episodes, that news reporter guy tries Krusty's new hamburger and immediately turns into a zombie. Then he attacks Krusty and the apocalypse begins. This one seems a bit too unrealistic, but on the other hand, with new psychoactives appearing on the streets, it's not impossible. Since the beginning of 2024, the usage of a new psychoactive substance called xylazine has skyrocketed. People passing out, standing in weird poses, doing weird stuff have been seen on the streets of the US. This substance is also called zombie drug, and it's used to boost the effect of another substance. Some of these scenes look straight like footage from movies. So while the possibility of a real zombie apocalypse is really slim, the possibility of more and more people getting addicted to this substance isn't. At least we won't have to run from zombies. All we need to do is stay away from these bad things. Number 16. Barbie movie release and Trump's arrest. Although this one is not really that terrible, nor is it a prediction for 2024, it still deserves a mention because of how precise it is. Remember when Trump got arrested on the same day the new Barbie movie came out? Well, The Simpsons predicted that many years ago. In the episode called Lisa vs. Malibu Stacy, news broke off the release of the rip-off version of the Barbie doll. The report about this doll lasted almost half an hour, and once it was over, the news reporter casually mentioned that the US president had been arrested. Now keep in mind, this episode was aired on February 17th of 1994. Why is that important? Well, because on April 4th of 2023, news channels around the world were talking about the release of the new Barbie movie, as well as about the circumstances surrounding the arrest of former President Donald Trump. The craziest of all, most of the reports focused on the new Barbie movie, ignoring President Trump's arrest, just like The Simpsons predicted. It's just crazy how this one was so astonishingly accurate. Number 17. 3D printed food. If the future of the food is this weird, I'll literally move to the village and grow my own potatoes. In April of 2005, The Simpsons episode Future Drama aired. In this episode, Lisa and Bart stumble into Professor Fink's basement and find a machine that shows them a glimpse into their teenage years. This episode is full of hilarious predictions, from Homer buying an underwater house to Milhouse getting extremely muscular in order to impress Lisa. However, the most notable prediction happens at the beginning of the episode when Marge takes a picture of teenage Bart and Lisa ahead of their prom and turns it into a 3D printed cake. Marge then remarks that she could do anything now that scientists had invented magic. In recent years, incredible advances have been made in the field of 3D printed food.
Culinary Institute of Barcelona have also been
The culinary visionaries behind Food Inc., for example, are the first restaurateurs ever to not only serve 3D printed food, but use cutlery, cooking materials, and plates, which have all been 3D printed for a fully immersive, futuristic experience. So I guess the next time I'm craving a tasty medium rare steak, I'll have to print it out. That's it for today, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching these terrible predictions Simpsons have made for 2024. In case it doesn't happen this year, I can reassure you guys it'll happen in the near future because I don't know how, but those guys are never wrong. Let's just hope they'll be wrong when it comes to things like the zombie apocalypse or World War III, even though it seems like it's already happening. As always, guys, don't forget to subscribe and click on the screen to watch the next video. Bye.